Hey everyone, Ridden here, and thank you for coming. And today, we're going to be taking a deeper look at episode 1 of season 1 of Marvel Studios' The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Welcome back everyone, and as you are aware, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier show has finally arrived on Disney+, coming in a week or so after, hot on the tails of Wandavision and all of its rampant success. When this show was first announced in April of 2019, I was already sure I would like it, as Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan have been highlights of the MCU for me over the past decade, and I believe it was established intentionally very early on that the pair had chemistry and that there was a possibility that there was a lot more story to tell with them together. The trailers leading up to now did a fantastic job of giving us a lot of exciting, flashy scenes, but giving us and telling us nothing about what to expect from the actual show and its plot. Outside of the returns of Baron Zemo and Sharon Carter, who we don't see in this episode, and the appearances of the Flag Smashers, a group we can only discern is gonna cause problems. As episode 1 started, I was really nervous as I had heard rumblings online and seen several people speculate that at some point in this season, or maybe starting off episode 1, we would see the death and funeral of Captain America, Steve Rogers. And you can see where some of these early shots from the trailer really play up to that. It's been 6 months since the events of Endgame, and it would seem that Sam has been working with the Air Force in the meantime. So we're ways past the events of Wandavision, which happens closer to a month tops after Endgame. I can already tell I'm gonna like the quality of this show as well. Judging by the opening action sequence, they are in fact staying true to the statement of having these Disney Plus shows be of the same level of quality as the Marvel movies, which was true in WandaVision as well. So we get to see Falcon's new wingsuit, as well as the new design for Red Wing, which we've seen several times over the past few movies, and it's always a bit different. Batroc the Leaper returns here, having been away from our gaze since Captain America Winter Soldier, as he and a group by the name of LAF hijack a plane. The show really starts off very similar to the way that movie did with the hijacking of the Lemurian Star. This scene really gave us a fleshing out of Falcon's capabilities, as we didn't get too much of an in-depth look at him and his tech during the films, as he was never really a point of focus for long. Having Georges St-Pierre, possibly the greatest UFC welterweight of all time and one of the greatest mixed martial artists to ever live, return as Batroc is also cool, as in the comics, Batroc the Leaper is one of the world's most proficient and dangerous unarmed combatants and a master of French kickboxing. It would seem Marvel is really laying into the comics groundwork early, as Lieutenant Torres, who is meant to be Sam's contact on the ground here, is a direct pull from Falcon's run in the comics as Captain America, as Joaquin Torres in the comics is the second iteration of Falcon, who inherits the mantle and becomes Sam's sidekick, as he too shares a psychic link with Red Wing. So keep an eye on Sam and Joaquin's relationship, as it could definitely lead to more. It was cool seeing Joaquin geek out over Red Wing when Sam is sitting there working on him, once you know the history with the two. And when Torres starts prodding Sam about Captain America, I was really interested to see if they would give us any indicators as to where Steve is currently. While I don't believe he's on the moon, I can definitely believe that the running storyline could be that he's living out the rest of his life on Nick Fury's space station, as old Steve Rogers in the comics does eventually become the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a time. When we finally make it to Bucky, we're ushered into a flashback, which was crazy in so many ways. I really forgot how much of a savage Bucky was as the Winter Soldier. This man snatched another man through a wall and then just killed everybody brutally. I really appreciate the development of this character we've seen over the past decade, as Marvel has not shied away from the violence in his past and the struggles he has with them mentally even now. When he awakes, we see that he's still in a matchbox bare bones apartment, sleeping on the floor. So seeing him in therapy here is great, and I'm interested to see how this develops. The whole angle of the Yori character that he's befriended was very cool to me, as Yori's dead son ends up being the guy the Winter Soldier killed in the earlier flashback, who just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the very short-lived date he goes on and dialogue he shares with the bartender here sheds a bit more light on the details and background of his character. The 3-rule process he talks about with his therapist was the comedic highlight of the episode for me, and I love the book of names with amends he has to make, as there were several Easter eggs and name references to characters from the comic book lore inside. I can't really say that I care all that much for the choice of Sam deciding to give the shield back to the government. I get that it'll of course be used as a plot device throughout the season for his character to grow and work towards, but knowing the shadiness and downright nefarious activities the government and Thunderbolt Ross always manage to get up to, this was just a poor decision and possibly Sam running away from the responsibility of it all, much like his sister accuses him of with their family situation back home. Rhodey appearing at the ceremony Sam spoke at where he gave the shield over to be displayed in the Smithsonian was cool, as I do suspect we'll be seeing more of him throughout the season. And him basically being a stand-in for the fans during his conversation with Sam, asking him why he didn't take the mantle, was very timely, as we all want to know the same exact thing. Sam's speech was very revealing here and falls in line with his methodology in the comics when he assumes the Captain America mantle, as he is a lot more grounded and everyday in his activities, as Steve Rogers wasn't and was more of a national and international defender. I am interested to see if we get more characters from the comics, such as say Misty Knight, who was a part of Sam's entourage as his authority on intelligence in his role as Captain America. Could we finally see some Netflix characters showing up? 2 metal arms beats 1, and we know how much we'd all love for the MCU to finally acknowledge the Marvel Netflix verse. The scenes with Sam and his family at home were great, and I'm really looking forward to see how more of that backstory continues to play out. Getting into the possible big bads of the show and the season, Joaquin brings up the Flag Smashers group to Sam very early on in the episode. They're a group that wants things to go back to the way they were during the blip because people were more united then. And now that everyone is back, no one cares for anyone else anymore, and it's back to business as usual. The height of the episode is definitely when Joaquin goes to the Flag Smashers meetup. Although he told Sam he will look into them further digitally online, and he gets railed by this guy, who is insanely strong for some reason. When he tells Sam, we can kind of see the wheels start to turn for him that this could be some super soldier mischief at play. This confirmed for me that we will definitely see some super soldier and weapons plus play and mischief in this series, as that level of villain is well within Bucky and Sam's realm to combat. In the comics, Flag Smasher was actually just one guy named Carl Morgenthau, who was the perfect foil for Captain America, as he used terrorism to spread anti-nationalist sentiment. Along with his group Ultimatum, he constantly gave Captain America and S.H.I.E.L.D. grief. So the group in our show here seems to be a further extension and the MCU's take and modernization of this character. The episode ends with the announcement of the new Captain America by the very guy that thanked Sam for bringing the S.H.I.E.L.D. back to the government after the ceremony. He gives this huge speech about how the nation needs a superhero that's for the nation, that will defend it and can inspire everyone again. And we get the reveal of U.S. Agent. In the comics, U.S. Agent was a guy by the name of Jonathan Walker, who was basically a patsy for the government and a much more brutal and violent version of Captain America, who actually uses guns in his offensive tactics. And we know Steve did not. We don't know yet how this character will be utilized going forward, or if he's going to be genetically enhanced, but I can imagine Sam is going to have a big problem with this, and likely so will Bucky. So we're officially off to the races with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I think that this episode was a very good introduction, as it set both guys up and it let us know where they both are, both physically and mentally, in the wake of Endgame. As was with Wandavision, I didn't really expect the show itself to explode out of the starting gate, so this start will more than suffice. Remember, we're only getting 6 episodes of this show, of roughly 45 to 55 minutes in length, so I do expect the pacing to be a bit different from that of Wandavision. What did you think of this episode? Did it start how you were expecting it to? And now that we've seen a bit of the direction, what would you like to see happen next? Jump down in the comments and let me know your thoughts. I will of course be continuing to cover this show here weekly on my channel, and if you feel so inclined, I would love to have you back here next week to continue to cover it with us. Again guys, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell for notifications if you've enjoyed our content here tonight. Jump down in the comments and let me know your thoughts, and while you're at it, be sure to check out some of the other content here on the channel. All of the necessary links are listed here below for you to keep up with the coming content and shareables. Please be sure to follow me on all social media platforms. Or just the one you use most frequently. We are slowly but surely building a community here, and I would personally love for you to be a part of that. And last but not least, we have a merch store. So whether you see something you like or just simply want to support the channel, head on over to our shop and grab something. or grab everything. But again, thank you so much, guys and gals, for visiting here with us today. I really appreciate each and every viewing minute of your time you've given us. There's loads of content we'll be sending your way, so I'll be seeing you. But for now, be blessed. And it was written.
Across the nighttime, the city sleep inside. Yeah, hear her voice, shake my window, sweet seducing.